Hi, I'm Dino, and I'm a backyard sugar maker. Years or so, I realized I had a sugar bush of about 50 trees. I looked at it as untapped potential. So I decided to maybe get involved in the sugar making and see where that takes me. As I mentioned, I own the property for about 20 years, and it's only been about 5 years since I decided to get into maple syrup making. This will be my 5th year at it. I've read as much information as I can get my hands on, visited several maple syrup shacks, joined a couple online forums and learned a tremendous amount. In New York, we don't have a shortage of maple trees, and a lot of people are very willing to share their information. I have about 50 tappable trees on my property, and my brother has about 20 trees that we tap over there. Unfortunately, several years ago, we had a really bad storm and a lot of the canopy broke apart, so I'm losing a lot of my trees. Each year I try to become more efficient with the tapping of my trees, making sure I'm tapping them in the right spot. Last year I ended up with just about 10 gallons of maple syrup. All trees produce sap, but the maple trees produce sap with a higher content of sugar. I use a refractometer to get an idea of the sugar content. The trees I have back here produce about 1 to maybe 5% sugar content. So boiling it down, I usually end up with about 60 gallons of sap boiled down to get 1 gallon of syrup. Last year I collected about 600 gallons of sap. I use the same type of wood each year to boil to feed the fire. Last year, to boil 600 gallons of sap, I think maybe I used 2 cords of wood. Advice for someone starting out, I recommend reading as much as you possibly can read. Go out, visit sugar shacks. When I started out very simple, using plastic jugs, empty milk jugs, and connectors from a hardware store for tubing. One of the biggest things I'd recommend is don't boil in your kitchen. I've heard some nasty stories where wallpaper will come down off the wall after evaporating 50 gallons of water out of your boilers. I enjoy primitive and traditional archery, fly fishing, canoeing, hiking, anything outdoors related. When I do something, I like to try to do the best job I can, just like making maple syrup.
Thank you, Dino, and thanks to everybody for watching. Till next time, take care.